Irish guy, and it's never nice to be upset. Football fans are prone to crying, shouting, and even throwing a bowl of cereal at the wall. I remember a Newcastle fan I once punched a horse, and I'm sorry, but at the end of the season in May, I know that some of you out there are gonna feel like you're just being punched by a Teletubby. It'll be a mixture of confusion, rage, and heartbreak. So I'm gonna rank every Premier League club for what set of fans are going to feel the happiest, the most ecstatic when the season ends, as they look back on what they've actually achieved. So then, at the bottom, those fans will feel the absolute worst, as if they just swallowed an infected Rice Krispie bun. Right, let's go. 20th Brentford. I think in May, Brentford fans are going to be the happiest in the Premier League. Honestly, on the final day of the season, I am tipping Brentford to beat Manchester City at home, meaning that Thomas Frank does the double over Pep Guardiola, which is such a very weird sentence. Frank looks a bit like if Gollum wore a wig. I mean, he's a guy who just used to sit on the lap of Dean Smith, a job even more degrading than cleaning a toilet with your mouth. And I think in May, Brentford fans will be the happiest because they're going to qualify for the Europa Conference League. Yeah. I began the season tipping them to finish bottom of the league, and now I'm saying 7th. I mean, it's like meeting Liam Payne, and in the space of one night, first telling him that he'll be working in Burger King at 34, and then an hour later telling him that he's going to outsell Michael Jackson. It's such a lack of consistency. Well, lad, Brentford have never had a single season in European football ever. So imagine their fans, when they realise they can start booking tickets to Hungary and Kosovo, they'll all be so terribly excited, they'll probably go in the toilets and stuff a chicken Kiev up their nose. Honestly, they'll probably vomit with happiness. 19 Nottingham Forest. I'm going to say that the Nottingham Forest fans will be the second happiest in the league come May. Well, maybe more of an overpowering relief, because this is a fan base that's waited over 20 years to get back into the Premier League, and let's be real, go back to October, and Forest fans were resigned to relegation. Those fans waited so long to get back into this league, and this is what they're having to watch every week. For them, it was torture. A bit like being forced to watch their grandparents fornicate on the couch. So once they actually survive in May, guaranteeing them another season in the Premier League, oh, they're going to be on cloud 9. The Forest fans will probably be doing naked dances in the street. Brian Clough will be twerking in his grave. We're going to see Jesse Lingard dancing in the change room on Instagram, despite the fact he's been about as much use as a bag of badger teeth. 18th Newcastle United. Similar to Brentford, the Geordies are going to be absolutely thrilled. Honestly, this entire summer in Newcastle, it'll be like Disneyland, because Newcastle will finish 5th and they'll get Europa League football. But, it still won't be Brentford levels of happiness, because Newcastle fans have done the Europa League before. They reached the quarterfinals under Mike Ashley for a European match. I mean, in that competition, Alan Pardew started a European game with a front three of Niall Ranger and the Amiobi brothers. I mean, some of the horrible Newcastle players that played in that match now play for Gateshead, Rotherham, Corfacan, Mansfield Town, Western Sydney Wanderers, Young Africans, and Boreham Wood. Sending that team out to try and win a European game, it was a bit like turning up to a blind date, having refused a shower for a month. Yeah. Just watch her get sick in her lasagna dish. So the Geordies have done this competition before, and there will be a twinge of disappointment that they didn't finish 4th. So again, they will be happy, absolutely delighted, but not the happiest. 17th Liverpool. This is weird. This is really weird that I think that in May, the Liverpool fans will be the 4th happiest in the league when they're going to end up with, what, 20 points lower than last season? You would assume that those supporters will feel like they've just watched their grandma choke on a balloon, but I actually feel that they will be delighted because they're going to finish 4th. Liverpool fans have felt miserable for months. They probably resigned themselves to the fact they'll be playing in the Europa League next year against teams like Rayo Vallecano and Freiburg. But I think they will claw their way into 4th. They will nick it on the final day of the season and be overwhelmed with relief. It is so important for Liverpool to be in the Champions League, in the same way it's important for Jonah Hill to be a millionaire. I mean, you really think his supermodel wife is just going to stick around for the jokes? Liverpool crave players like Jude Bellingham, and so they need Champions League. And if you don't believe me that Liverpool fans will be so uncontrollably happy to finish 4th, well, go back 2 years ago when Alisson Becker scored a last-minute winner against West Brom to help them finish 3rd. For those fans, that moment probably felt like having 9 birthdays at once. 18th Everton. Everton fans are going to be pretty happy in May because Sean Dyche will help them survive. I'm guessing those Everton fans, over the last 2 seasons, have been terrified of relegation. I mean, teams like Southampton, Fulham, Bournemouth, they know what it's like to go down. Sure, they don't want relegation, but especially Bournemouth fans, they're probably at peace. But Everton fans, They don't know what a relegation from the Premier League feels like. To them, it's probably about as scary as sharing a bath with the Queen. Under Frank Lampard, those fans probably couldn't even eat their cereal in the morning without shaking like a leaf. They probably went to work with milk and Cheerios all over their lap. But Dyche will keep them up, and lads, the relief, the absolute relief when they beat Bournemouth on the final day. Goodison Park will honestly look like you just won the league. By the way, quick interruption to let you know to, first of all, subscribe if you're new. Please just join this journey with us, you absolute legends. But also, this video is sponsored by Surfshark. What is Surfshark? Surfshark is what stops you having your phone hacked into with a creepy old man who's got dead cats in his fridge. Surfshark is a VPN, and my favorite feature of Surfshark is that you can change your location on Netflix to anywhere in the world. So go out there and tap into the mystical world of US Netflix. Honestly, it sounds like the world of Narnia, and you don't even have to jump into your cupboard neither. I mean, you can also watch Match of the Day when you're stuck in a Korean village. Honestly, who doesn't want to watch Danny Murphy when you're tucking into sushi at 3 a.m? Are you interested now? It's available on every device you can think of. It also offers data protection services. One of the features is called Alert, which will notify you when your personal information is being leaked online. Anyway, because Surfshark are absolute legends, same as yourselves, subscribe. They'll give you all 83% off and 3 months free when you use the code irishguy10. Anyway, link in the description. Go now. 15th, Manchester City. They're going to win the Premier League. But will the City fans be overcome with joy? No. There will be relief that they've managed to pit Arsenal. But will those same fans be trembling like an epileptic squirrel to win their 5th league title in 6? No, the novelty will have worn off. The fans will be happy. But I mean, I don't think any of them will struggle to sleep, and they won't win the Champions League. So really, when they reflect on this season in May, it's all just a bit meh, and they'll probably hate themselves for not feeling that excited. Some Man City fans will try and pretend that this title win has changed their life, but no, they'll probably just feel like Abby Clancy on her wedding day. It's all just a bit meh. 14th, Crystal Palace. I think Crystal Palace fans are scared. Their form is absolutely pig rotten, and to see Roy Hodgson at the wheel, again, it's a bit like being in a taxi and seeing Marcos Alonso at the wheel. Christ above, that was dark. But seriously, Palace's fortunes are in the hands of a man whose skin just looks like fungus on a skeleton. I don't want to disrespect the old, but he looks like he can barely even swallow solid foods. He probably needs a nurse to cut up his steak. So yeah, Palace fans are stressed, they're worried, they're preparing for the championship. But they'll stay up, and so yeah, they'll be very happy. 13th, Wolves. Wolves will feel happy too, but this Wolves squad should not be in danger of going down. Julian Lopetegui is a former Real Madrid boss, and he's been at Molyneux 5 months, and yet they're still in a relegation mess. I don't think Wolves will celebrate survival all that much. In the same way someone's mum probably isn't gonna hold a party for her son when he barely scrapes a pass in his maths exam. I mean, if I told my mother that I got a D in English, she'd probably smack me in the face with a spoon. So yeah, Wolves fans will stay up. They won't be devastated, but they won't be that happy either. Just feeling an emptiness in their stomach, and just like Robert Pattinson, they'll just look dead in the eyes. Honestly, in May, after a subpar sluggish season, Molyneux will just resemble the White Walkers of Game of Thrones. 12th, Leicester City. Again, for the same sort of reason as Wolves. I don't think Leicester City fans will be celebrating about surviving relegation. No, if anything, by May, they'll feel a bit depressed. This is their season to impress James Maddison. Show him that they can build his future with him in the team. But now, oh, that hope is gone. In the same way, if you were halfway through a date with a human woman, and you ask her how many times she's molested a dog before accidentally sneezing snot in her eye, yeah, you now got more chance of kissing your mum. So May won't be a celebration, but they won't be that upset either. It's all just a bit blank. 11th, Aston Villa. Aston Villa fans will be the deadest of all. Lads, at least Wolves and Leicester fans will be feeling some sort of happiness of staying up. But Aston Villa, they're not in a relegation battle, and they're in a very outside race for Europe. Right now, the fans are probably targeting the Conference League, but they won't qualify for Europe. And so yeah, the Villa fans will be slightly gutted, but I mean, I doubt they'll be sobbing into their pies at Villa Park. This place won't resemble a graveyard for puppies and cats. No, they'll be fine. They'll deal with this minor disappointment the same way you deal with having to wipe dog poo off your knee. Just a little bit sad, but that's it. 10th, Fulham. Yeah, I know. Fulham were many people's picks to go down, and they're going to finish in the top half, and yet I've stuck them all the way down in 10th for happiness. I mean, offered 9th position to Fulham fans last summer, and it'd be like offering them a cheeseburger and a date with Selena Gomez. And is that who the kids like nowadays? I don't know.
Am I so out of touch?
But it's the hope that kills you. Fulham have been safe since Halloween. This isn't about survival anymore. This is about getting the Cottagers back into the Europa League. This is a club who've already tasted playing in a Europa League final. Only 13 years ago, the thought of ever getting back to that stage again looked about as realistic as managing to get a snowman to talk. Those fans' hopes are sky high. They are tickling the moon. So when they don't get into Europe, yes, it's irrational. They should be delighted with 9th, but They won't be. They'll feel like someone's just playing hacky sack with their heart. Ninth, Brighton. For the same reason as Fulham. Yeah, Brighton fans will probably feel a pang of hurt. This season is exciting for the club. They are hunting down Europe, and those fans from a seaside village populated by bunny rabbits and the old. So to even dream of them getting into any European competition, that probably keeps them awake at night. But they'll finish ninth. No Europe. And yeah, like Fulham fans, they'll be pretty sad. Eighth, Bournemouth. Bournemouth fans will be sad, yes, but not devastated. I think those fans have sort of accepted relegation ever since losing 9-0 in August. Anything else for that season is a bonus, especially when they got a PE teacher at the wheel. Bournemouth will be relegated, and yeah, they'll be sad, but they already went down in 2020. They know they'll be fine down there. I don't even think a single Bournemouth fan will cry about relegation. 7th, Chelsea. Chelsea fans will feel miserable in May. You know what, actually, maybe not miserable, just embarrassed. It'll be the most embarrassed they felt for over 20 years. Right now, those fans are still probably harboring faint hopes. Some of them still think they can win the Champions League. Some of them think they can nick Europa League football for next year. I mean, they're only 4 points off 6th, but there is hope there to crush out and stomp like a cheese sandwich. They will splutter and fail, and I'm gonna say it. They will finish the season in 10th. Embarrassing. With a £1 billion squad and a £100 million man in midfield. Embarrassing. That's all there is to it. And you think those posh Chelsea fans will be able to show their face down the pub this summer? No, they'll probably just hoard up on tequila and have a 3-month lockdown, crying in the kitchen while their wife cuts their hair. This won't be an apathetic feeling of meh. No, to actually go from winning the Champions League in 2021 to finishing 10th in 2023 while Thomas Tuchel lifts the European Cup with Bayern Munich. Seeing Tuchel coach in his 3rd Champions League finals since 2020, it will probably be like seeing your ex-girlfriend win the X Factor. Chelsea fans will feel bitter, jealous, and also miserable. 6th, Tottenham. Tottenham will be crushed. They really will. I know this season seems like a miserable mess, but let's be honest. Antonio Conte has had them in the top 5 since August. They've occupied their place in the top 4 for 21 weeks of the season. They were sitting in 3rd for 3 months. It's been a messy campaign, but I think in the back of Tottenham's minds, they were hugely confident of getting Champions League football next season. But that fantasy is getting ripped away from them. Do you really think Christian Stellini, a man who was sacked by a Polish club in his last management role, you think he's going to guide you into 4th? No, I reckon Tottenham are going to implode and finish 6th, and they're going to be miserable. How are they going to be able to look Harry Kane in the eye after that? 5th, Man United. I know this sounds weird. Me saying that Manchester United fans will be the 5th most devastated set of supporters in the league. They won the Carabao Cup. They're going to finish inside the top 4. True, but I reckon this season's going to finish on a horrible, unbearable note. They will lose the Europa League final to Roma. Manchester United fans are sick of failing in that tournament. And I see Jose Mourinho lifting that trophy above his head. I'm sorry, but this will hurt Man United fans more than they might think. That image is going to ruin your summer. 4th, Southampton. Southampton have been in the Premier League since 2012. That ends now. They're going down, and the reason this will hit them harder than the Bournemouth fans is because relegation has traumatized the Saints. With teams like the Cherries, they've pretty casually bounced back from relegation pretty easily. But when Southampton went down in 2005, they stayed down for 7 years, even having to trickle into League One. That's the equivalent of someone losing their job, and within 3 years, they're living on the streets, having to eat rat corpses for tea. So relegation will hit the Saints fans hard. And yeah, honestly, come May, there'll be tears in that stadium. 3rd, West Ham. You might assume that I'm tipping West Ham for the drop here, right? Nah. The Hammers will stay up, but those fans will still be crushed more than Southampton. And it's because the Europa Conference League is West Ham's lifeline. After failing in the Europa League last season, this is their chance to now finally win a European competition, which gets them back into the Europa League for next season. It's like a cheat code, and they are actually the favourites for the tournament and need to win it. But they won't. They'll bottle it, lose the final, will have no Europe for next season, will have to sell their key players, and won't be able to sign their transfer targets. And yeah, it'll just mess up their entire plans. When West Ham lose this Conference League final, it will be horrible. Declan Rice, oh, he's going to cry on the pitch. 2nd, Arsenal. Oh, Arsenal fans, I am sorry. I hate to do this, but it's true. How painful is it going to be when you don't win the league? Lads, the excitement in the Emirates is going through the roof. There's some people being charged £53,000 to even get into the ground for the final game of the season. Those fans are dreaming of lifting the Premier League title. And you might think that even finishing 2nd would be a dream. What would they be sad about? They're back in the Champions League. Oh yeah, do you reckon Liverpool fans were delighted to finish 2nd in 2014? It was technically a brilliant season, but it won't have felt like that. Sorry, Arsenal fans, but you're going to hate this. 1st, Leeds United. Leeds United fans will be more hurt than Arsenal fans in May. I know they will, because relegation is going to hit Leeds hard. They are terrified of going down, more than any other team in the league, because the last time that happened, 17 years in the wilderness. Honestly, they were gone longer than Voldemort. Those fans are absolutely scarred by relegation. They don't want to go back into the Championship. In the same way DT doesn't want to go back into jail, relegation will wreck Leeds fans. The entire Premier League dream, the exciting Bielsa ball they had in the top flight, that will just be a memory as the Forest will come to the realisation that they'll be travelling to Derby and Plymouth next year. All Leeds fans, I'm sorry, but relegation is going to absolutely crush those fans. There won't be a dry eye in the house. They'll feel like they just absolutely spoiled their life. Anyway, that's one thing. Let me know in the comments, who do you think is going to have the most miserable season? Let me know in the comments who's going to be the most upset. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give a like, subscribe, and as always, I'll talk to you in a while.